Hey, what's up guys, Starry Ray here and welcome back to another NFL video. Today we're going to be ranking the teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs. Now for this ranking, we're going to be ranking them for where they are right now, so just where the season ended, and we're going to try to figure out who is the best team that was eliminated. Now I'm also going to try to go pretty fast for some of these teams because there's 18 teams that are eliminated, so yeah, it would be kind of a long video if I gave every reason why I think they deserve their spot. Before we get into the rankings, make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this type of video, and I'm also going to be doing NFL playoff predictions, so if you're interested in those and just some of the playoff recaps, make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on those videos. Alright, let's go ahead and start, and the first team is the Tennessee Titans. So to end the season, the Tennessee Titans did lose a game against the Jaguars that would have made them go into the playoffs. One of the biggest issues with the Titans to end the season is just quarterback play. Ryan Tannehill did get injured and they had to start Malik Willis, and Malik Willis isn't good. You know, there was a stretch where I think he didn't even throw for 100 yards, and then they had to start Joshua Dobbs, who Joshua Dobbs is a lot better. You know, he's been in the league forever, but you know, he's still not able to win them games, and yeah, they struggled to end the season. Coach Vrabel wasn't able to really just get those guys prepared to win games, just because of I would really say just the quarterback play was just so bad towards the end of the season. So I'm going to be putting the Titans in the D tier. After that is the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons are somewhat similar to the Titans, where quarterback play became an issue towards the end of the season, but picked up actually. Like, they had some good quarterback play towards the end. So yeah, the Falcons started off the season with Marcus Mariota, and Marcus Mariota was playing pretty decent for them. Then they made the switch to Desmond Ridder at the bye, and they lost 2 games, and then they won 2 games. So he's 2-2 right now. Desmond Ridder, he started off pretty bad, but I think he's been playing pretty decent towards the end. I think he's a pretty good quarterback, just good, nothing more, nothing else. You know, he's been just doing his job. You know, he hasn't lost them games, and yeah, he's been playing pretty decent. And yeah, quarterback play is not really that big of a question right now for them. Defensively, they've been actually kind of decent as well. They've had very few mistakes, I would say. You know, they haven't been blown out like crazy so far, and to end the season at least. So yeah, the Falcons are kind of in a weird spot where it just kind of feels like they're just a little too young right now, where they still need time to grow. So if I gotta rank them right now, I kind of want to put them in the C tier, but I think I'm gonna put them in the D tier just because there's a little bit, there's just some uncertainty with this team. So I'm gonna put them in the D tier. After that is the Carolina Panthers. Now to end the season, the Panthers are kind of in a weird spot. So they had Sam Darnold to close out the season, and Sam Darnold was inconsistent, I guess. You know, he had some very good moments where he was just playing pretty good football. One of the games against the Lions, where obviously they were running the ball like crazy, but he didn't lose that game for them. He did his job pretty decently. He was a game manager, I guess. And another game was against the Buccaneers, where he played, you know, his stats were pretty good and everything, and he had a few mistakes and stuff, but you know, he was playing pretty good. You know, Sam Darnold was kind of like just changing the narrative around his name. But to end the season, he had an awful performance against the Saints. I think it was only like 45 yards. Yeah, it was pretty bad to end the season. So that's why to end the season right now, it's just so hard to really rank the Panthers because of the way the Panthers ended the season on such a low note. I'm gonna be putting them in the D tier. After that is the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals are a team that I don't think I really got to talk much about. Yeah, they're out with Kyler Murray, and you know, they're out with head coach Cliff Kingsbury is fired. So yeah, they do not have a coach right now at the end of the season. So yeah, I'm gonna be putting them in the D tier. Yeah, they're just you know, struggling, and I didn't even mention JJ Watt's retiring as well. Yeah, just to end the season, they were pretty bad. After that is the Chicago Bears. Now the Chicago Bears are a team that I really do like, but I'll be honest, they're a year early. I think next year they'll be a lot better. Defensively, they got to get a lot better. They need to make a jump, like a Jets quality jump at defense. Yeah, their defense is struggling. They kind of get blown out in a lot of these games. Offensively, you know, Justin Fields is pretty good. You know, we know Justin Fields is that type of, you know, we know he's the franchise quarterback. We know he's that good. It's just really defensively, they got to get better. You know, offensively as well. You know, we know Justin Fields can run the ball all over, but we need to see, you know, some people step up. We need them to see some just wide receiver talent. And yeah, the Bears are a struggling team right now to end the season. Justin Fields is even hurt, so I'm going to put him in the D tier. After that is the Green Bay Packers. Now the Packers season did end abruptly. I thought they were going to be in the playoffs 100%. They were a win and in situation, and they lost to the Lions. Now give credit to the Lions because they were also a team that could have been in the playoffs, and once they found out they were eliminated, they said, we're gonna make sure that you're eliminated as well. But to end the season, the Packers did play some pretty good football, probably some of the best football they've played all season. Christian Watson really stepped up, and Aaron Rodgers also stepped up and made him look like a Davante Adams light. Let's be very respectful to Davante Adams. Davante Adams is one of one, but some of the catches that Christian Watson was making was Davante Adams like it was just kind of crazy how he just really stepped up at the end of the season. And the offense was going as well. They have some really great pieces right now, and like I said, I thought they were going to be in the playoffs for sure, so I'm going to put them in the B tier. I think they're one of the better teams right now. It's just that the Lions were 100% focused and dedicated on making them lose, and yeah, the Packers lost. After that is the Houston Texans. Now to end the season, the Texans were playing some pretty good football. Now they weren't winning a lot of the games that they were playing good football in, but they were playing some pretty good football. If you remember, the Cowboys game was very good, and the Chiefs game was also very good. They had a chance to win that game. It went into overtime. If they don't fumble in overtime, so close to their end zone, they probably win that. Well, maybe not win it, but they have a chance to win that game for sure. And they also did a comeback in their last game against the Colts. Now, some people are kind of upset with that because they could have had the number 1 draft pick, but they decided to win that game, and I respect it, man. They're a hard fighting team. Ranking them right now is hard though because they are without a head coach, Lovie Smith. So yeah, it's kind of rough. I personally want to put them in the C tier because they've been playing some pretty good football. It's just things don't go their way, and at the beginning of the season, there were some moments where they were in close games. I remember them almost winning a few games, and yeah, they just kind of didn't, and they were getting blown out at the beginning of the season as well. But towards the end, they were playing some pretty good football. But if we're being completely honest, I gotta put them in the D tier. Though I do like this team. Davis Mills did prove a lot to me, but I'm gonna put him in the D tier. After that is the New York Jets. Now you already know how I feel about the Jets. They screwed over the Steelers into making the playoffs. All they had to do was beat the Dolphins, and they couldn't do it. And yeah, they went 0-6 to end the season. Not very good at all. And I feel like a lot of their issues just come down to QB play. They had very inconsistent QB play from Zach Wilson, who his confidence was just shattered this season. He was pretty okay. He was a game manager at the beginning of the season when he made his return. But yeah, those Patriots game really just destroyed his confidence, and yeah, they had to switch to Mike White, and Mike White stepped up and he played some really good football. It looked like the offense was, clicking. It was starting to move. Yeah, the offense looked really good with Mike White. Then he gets hurt, so they got to go to Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco is, at the end of his career, so I'll leave it at that respectfully. He's at the end of his career. So yeah, with the Jets, defensively, they're there. I think they have a great defense, and they do have some key pieces offensively as well. It just really comes down to QB play, and because of that, I'm gonna put them in the C tier. If the Jets had another game and Mike White was back, they would be a C tier team. So yeah, I'm gonna put them in the C tier. After that is the Washington Commanders. Now the Commanders are a team that ended the season very iffy. Now they lost the game against the Browns that would have sent them, or just kept their playoff hopes alive. And yeah, they lost that game, and they beat the Cowboys to end the season. But I mean, we'll talk about the Cowboys later eventually in the playoffs. But yeah, they won that game. The Commanders are a team that I'm just not very confident on or in at all. Like I just don't believe in that team at all. So I'm gonna put them in the D tier. I just don't really know what direction they're going, especially QB wise. I don't know who's going to be the QB. Yeah, the Commanders are such a weird spot to end the season that yeah, I just think they're a D tier quality team. After that is the Saints. Now the Saints are another team where I just kind of don't know what direction they're going in anything. And to end the season, they were kind of iffy. They were very iffy as well. They had some moments, but you know, the last game of the season was against the Panthers, and they only put up 7 points. You know, it was a pretty bad game, just like from the Panthers wise. You know, so for them to not win that game was kind of just crazy. So yeah, the Saints are a weird team where I'm not very confident with them at all, and if they're playing someone else, I would probably pick the other team, so I'm gonna put them in the D tier. That's not saying that they don't have a good QB. Andy Dalton's still a very quality starter QB, and they do have some talent over there. It's just the team wise, I'm just not that high on the team, so I'm gonna put them in the D tier. After that is the Las Vegas Raiders. Now the Raiders are a team that I am high on. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm still high on the Raiders. You know, the Jarrett Stidham move was questionable. You know, it was very questionable, and to end the season, Jarrett Stidham is 1-1 as the Raiders starter. You know, he had a very great game, just a shocking game against the 49ers where he looked like he was going to be their QB. And then, you know, the next game against the Chiefs wasn't the same. You know, he had some good stats if you look at the stats, but you know, they were getting blown out, and yeah, the stats are inflated for sure. The main problem with the Raiders is defense. We've known that all season, that their defense is atrocious. They've lost so many games for the Raiders. Offensively though, they're pretty stacked. You know, Devonta Adams, Josh Jacobs, those are great pieces to have. So yeah, I'm gonna put them in the C tier. I think it comes down to QB play and just defense, but man, those offensive weapons are just so good. Now, you know, it really comes down to if they can execute with those offensive weapons. But I'm just, you know, if I have to rank them right now, I think they're a really good team still. It's just those weapons are just so star powerful that it's really blinded me, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, I'm gonna put them in the C tier because, like I said, they're just a QB away. Yeah, I really like that team still. After that is the Colts, and yeah, I don't think I gotta say much about the Colts. Just an awful season for them. QB play was just atrocious. Head coaching was atrocious. Defensively was atrocious as well. Let's just be honest, the whole team was pretty bad, and yeah, I'm gonna put the Colts in the D tier. After that is the Denver Broncos. Now to end the season, the Broncos were kind of okay. They started to score the ball a lot more than they were at the beginning of the season. For me, I think the Broncos just need more consistency. I think that's what's really just missing from this team. I think Russell Wilson is going to be better next year and everything, and towards the end of the season he was playing a lot better as well. Really what it comes down to for the Broncos is offense, because we know that their defense is good. Now they did have that awful showing against the Rams, but I mean their defense is still good. We know that their defense is good. One bad game where I'm sure no one wanted to play at all doesn't really define their defense, if we're being honest, where they've been very good this whole season. So yeah, for me it's just consistency from the offense, and because of that I'm gonna put them in the C tier. I think their team is still pretty okay. You know, they are without a head coach right now, so it is very iffy. We don't know who their head coach is gonna be, but right now, just the way they've been playing to end the season, they've been pretty good. I'm gonna put them in the C tier. Also, another reason why is because if they were playing another team, like if they had a rematch against the Rams, I would actually probably favor them right now, if I'm being completely honest. So yeah, I'm gonna put them in the C tier for that reason, where, you know, if I look at all these D tier teams, and I kind of like the Broncos a little bit more, if I'm just being honest. So yeah, they deserve to be in the C spot for how they ended the season. After that is the Rams. Now to end the season, the Rams did play pretty good football. Baker Mayfield had some moments for sure where it looked like he was, you know, revitalizing his career. Offensively, there's still a lot to be desired with the Rams, especially because we saw what they were last year offensively, and it's kind of a shell of itself. They're not the same. Yeah, and that's to be expected with, you know, all their pieces really missing, and you know, having Baker Mayfield at quarterback. But you know, I thought he played pretty decent for what he had to do. Defensively though, there's still a lot to be desired, because yeah, they just haven't been a very good defensive team. Right now though, I'm gonna have to put them in the C tier, using the same logic that I used for the Broncos, where I look at all the D tier teams and I feel like the Rams can win against those teams. So yeah, I'm gonna put them in the C tier. After that is the New England Patriots. The Patriots were another team that was very close into making the playoffs. It came down to them really losing their game against the Bills, but I mean, that was kind of expected. The Bills had everything going for them, especially with, they had all the emotional advantage, I would say, because they really wanted to show out for Damar Hamlin, and the whole city was around him, and the whole NFL really was going for the Bills, so they had all the advantage in that game. But let's be honest, the Patriots did make it a game. The Patriots made it a game. Some mistakes from Mac Jones, that some interceptions and stuff, but the Patriots really did play well, and I don't want to say I thought they were gonna go, but I wouldn't have been surprised if they made the playoffs to end the season. The Patriots played pretty good football, I would say. They were locked up in a few of these games. There's some embarrassing losses, like the one to the Raiders, where they obviously should have won that game, but they didn't because of you already know what happened, that the ad roll. I still am high on the Patriots defensively. We know that they're a good defensive team. Offensively, there's a lot to be desired, but I feel like Mac Jones really did play some pretty good football this year, and yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if they made the playoffs. Honestly, I think they're that good of a team, so yeah, I'm gonna put them in the C tier. After that is the Detroit Lions. Now, the Lions season ended before their last game against the Packers, with Seattle winning. It eliminated them from the playoffs, and essentially that was it, for them. But they did have that game against the Packers where they said, nah, you're not going to the playoffs. We're gonna make sure that if we're missing the playoffs, you're missing the playoffs. And they had one of the best games this season. Some of the stuff that they're doing in that game was just so shocking. They looked really good. And that final game against the Packers, and it was such a great showing for the Lions that I really do like that team. I've been a fan of this team ever since the Thanksgiving game, or just even before that. I thought they were gonna make the playoffs for sure. I really thought Jared Goff was playing amazing. Defensively, they started to pick it up as well, and yeah, I was really rooting for the Lions. The Lions played amazing football towards the end, so yeah, I'm gonna put them in the B tier. After that is the Steelers, and you already know how I feel about the Steelers. I feel like we should have made the playoffs, just the way we're ending the season. We had to win out, and we took care of business, and we made sure that we were in position to win, just to win our games and to go into the playoffs. Now, we were so close. If the Jets, beat the Dolphins, we're in the playoffs right now, and we're not even talking about the Steelers. But yeah, to end the season, the Steelers really did play some amazing football, some of the best football this whole season. And Kenny Pickett really stepped up and proved that he can be our franchise quarterback. And I think our defense also stepped up at the end of the season as well. Man, I'm really proud of that Steelers team, just the way they closed out this season. And if I have to rank them right now, I'm putting them in the B tier. If I'm being completely honest, I'm putting them in the B tier. That's not even me being biased. They were just really good to end the season. And I look at these teams and I feel like we can really go toe to toe with a lot of them. Even the Patriots, were defensively, we know that they're still so good, but I feel like we could still win that game. I don't know, maybe I'm just being biased, but yeah, I'm very high on the Steelers still, and I think next year is going to be even better. But yeah, to end the season, we played some really great football, and yeah, I'm very proud of my team. And finally is the Cleveland Browns. Now I'm going to be putting the Browns in the D tier. Just a very disappointing season for them for sure. Deshaun Watson was not who we really thought he was going to be when he came back. He struggled a lot. He had some flashy moments here and there, but for how much they're paying him and everything, and how much they had to really just give up to get him, it hasn't proven to work yet. Now, that's just right now. We're talking about right now to end the season. Yeah, so I'm going to put him in the D tier. They're still struggling. And yeah, so that is my list. The best teams to be eliminated from the playoffs are the Packers, the Lions, and the Steelers. And I'm pretty happy with the way this list came out. If I'm gonna be completely honest though, I think I kind of want to put the Patriots up in the B tier because they're pretty good as well. But yeah, that is my list. Let me know in the comments how you feel about my list. What team am I too low on? What team am I too high on? Let me know in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe so you do not miss out on any more NFL videos. Thanks for watching, y'all. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.